Good morning, everyone. I am the Reverend Joan Javier Duval, minister of the Unitarian Church of Montpelier, and I extend a warm welcome to you this morning. Thank you for joining us in this time of worship from wherever you are. The Unitarian Church of Montpelier is a Unitarian Universalist congregation founded in 1864. We are a religious community of many beliefs, backgrounds, ages, and identities that welcomes all as we journey together, seeking spiritual wholeness and justice in the world. Whether you are a newcomer, a longtime member, or somewhere in between, we are so glad that you are with us this morning for our annual Lifespan Spiritual Exploration Sunday. If you are joining us on Zoom, the chat function will be on for much of the service. It's a great way to welcome and support one another, to affirm the hard work and effort of our worship leaders, and to share good vibes and positive thoughts with each other. Additionally, on Zoom, you can turn on the live transcript or closed captions for increased accessibility. Thank you to our virtual greeters who are offering hospitality and tech help throughout the service. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. And let us now enter more deeply into our time of worship with our prelude.
Good morning, everyone. I am Liza Earl Centers, Director of your Lifespan Spiritual Exploration Program, or LSE for short. Our Lifespan Spiritual Exploration Program is about supporting the spiritual growth and learning of each of us, whatever our age or life stage. The opening words that you are about to hear lift up the many lessons in our spiritual journeys. Listen for any lessons that sound like the ones you've been working on this past year. These opening words are read for you by LSE participants and volunteers across the lifespan, including some new families who have joined us this spring.
I am learning to be brave.
I'm learning to speak my own language.
I am learning what I want to become.
I am learning what life I want to live.
I am learning to stand in my place without flinching.
I am learning to go my own way.
I'm learning how to not help people who don't need help. I am learning how to embrace my powerful spirit.
I am learning how to build my own bridges.
Complete with lions to guard against the foot traffic.
I'm learning I have value to bring to those waiting to hear my voice.
I am learning the intensity of my own burning passion.
I am learning to keep digging in the murkiness of my own brokenness.
I'm learning to think in terms of unlimited possibilities.
I'm learning to accept my imperfections as beautiful.
I am learning I will not always be understood in the way I intended.
I am learning and learning and learning.
New things every minute, every day.
I am learning to be a part of the healing of the world.
Because I am willing to learn to be me.
Our opening hymn is next, and to continue the theme of learning, Lucy Beaudry shares her new learning and passion for playing the piano. I hope you'll sing along as she leads us in Peace Like a River, an African-American spiritual that reminds us that inside each of us is what we need to get through hard times. We'll sing 3 verses. I've got peace like a river, love like an ocean, and strength like a mountain. Thank you, Lucy.
I have peace by the river, I have peace by the river, I have peace by the river in my soul. I have peace by the river, I have peace by the river, I have peace by the river in my soul. I have love by the ocean, I have love by the ocean, I have love by the ocean in my soul. I have love by the ocean, I have love by the ocean, I have love by the ocean in my soul. I have strength by the mountain, I have strength by the mountain, I have strength by the mountain in my soul. I have strength by the mountain, I have strength by the mountain, I have strength by the mountain in my soul.
Good morning, everyone. Our family is here to light the chalice. I'm Kristen Lindberg.
I'm Rick Monk.
And I'm Maddie.
We wanted to take a moment to express our gratitude to the UCM community for all their support and caring this past year, especially all the activities for the kids, including the Hope Lingers On video that they made recently, and all the care packages that were dropped off at our house by surprise. We appreciate it all. Thank you very much.
So we're here to lead the chalice lighting. We invite you to light a chalice or a candle at home if you have one nearby. We'll say the words that are part of the children's chapel each Sunday. If you know them, say them along with us. We'll also pause after we say each line for people who want to repeat them. We light this chalice in celebration of Unitarian Universalism.
We are
A
a
church of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands.
Now we transition into the bridging part of this morning's worship. I'll begin by sharing that one of the best parts this spring has been watching 2 different families of Canada geese on the river in our backyard. Lately, the goslings have been learning to dive underwater, and then they pop up like corks. It is so fun and so cute to watch. Raise your hand if any of you have ever watched some goslings or maybe ducklings grow bigger. Have any of you ever watched that? Yes. It is astonishing how quickly they grow from one week to the next, right? And any of you kids listening, if you happen to have seen someone from church in person around town this year or at a church event outdoors, that grown-up has probably said to you, "You've gotten so much bigger," right? Just like those goslings grow a lot from week to week, you grow a lot from year to year. Sometime mid-summer, those goslings will start to learn to fly. It's amazing how quickly they grow into adult geese. And while it's not as fast, it's still amazing to watch the children of our church grow up, first into youth and then into adults. We have 5 high school seniors from our church who are graduating this month, and we are so proud of all of them. I want to share a few photos as an introduction with you. And here they are. We have, Erin Kelley, Oskar Neuburger, Ruby Bryant, Jacob Miller Arsenault, and Ben Mays. Our congregation has been a place where they have had a chance to practice how to be in the world, like the geese learning to fly. Oskar, Ruby, and Erin chose to be part of our bridging program with 4 small group sessions starting in the fall, led by myself and the wise and humorous John Poten as facilitators. Those discussions led up to today's special bridging ceremony. And here are some photos that we've gathered of their younger years as an introduction to who these amazing people are. Unitarian Universalists recognize that the transition from youth to young adulthood is a moment to be celebrated, a process to be supported, and requires a lifelong commitment from all of us. We use the term bridging to refer to the ceremony used to honor this transition, which we celebrate this morning, and also to refer to the process of leaving youth community and finding one's place in the young adult community. In the bridging ceremony, we acknowledge that not only are our youth going through a key milestone in our secular culture, but they are also going through a crucial spiritual rite of passage. This ceremony marks the passage of becoming a young adult in the congregation and in the community. And we begin with Erin, Oskar, and Ruby, who wanted to share some reflections with you.
Hello, my name is Erin Kelley, and I want to thank you for helping me to become the person I am today. Through your big actions and your small ones, you demonstrated how I could be a person who makes a difference in the world. I don't know who I would be without all of you. Hearing songs and stories from Sally Armstrong on the green rug are some of my most cherished Sunday memories. I'm grateful for Liza and all the Sunday school volunteers who showed up consistently week after week to offer us support and love. Ann Ferguson and Art Stuckey are two teachers who made me feel especially cared for. Susan Koch and Hannah Worth made me feel special by sometimes having youth group meetings, even if I were the only youth who was able to come that day. And thank you to John Poten for supporting me through this year of transition. Feeling cared for was important to my growth, but so was what I learned from being in this community. In 4th grade LSE, the Toms family taught us about our metaphorical toolbox, which included our values and principles, and how we were able to use those tools in our lives. So many of the tools I'm carrying forward came from UCM. I learned how to better reflect on and share my beliefs from Pat Karstensen and other mentors in the Coming of Age program. In OWL, not only did I learn about human sexuality, we were taught how to communicate with other people to make sure that everyone was taken care of. I know when I come into the church building or log into Zoom each week that I will be surrounded by a loving community. Your persistent kindness and compassion in action gave me role models for the type of person I want to grow into. When I was a kid and my dad was sick, church members stepped up to give us food and to give me and my brother a place to be. Before she died, Haiti Ballantyne invited me and my mom over to her house to tell us the story of her experience in World War II. Because she was given help when she needed it, she had a lifelong commitment to volunteering and helping others, which you would have known if you knew her at all. She was a huge inspiration for me, and like her, I hope to spread the love and compassion you gave me throughout my life into the wider world. And because of you, I know I can. I have seen how you put your values in action, and I was taught how I could do that too. Nancy Schultz encouraged me to join the Spuds volunteer program, and Ann Ferguson helped my middle school class create a bake sale fundraiser to help with the Flint water crisis. I want to thank the people of this congregation for caring for me, supporting me, and demonstrating values and principles in action. You have empowered me to do my best as I move through the next stage in my journey, and I hope that I will make you proud.
Hello, my name's Oskar. I'm also bridging, so I'm going to read my reflection. Between our whole lives, coming of age, the holiday fair, the jollification committee, and attending services as a family every week, we're very involved with UCM, and I can in part take credit for that. Usually your parents drag you to church. For us, it was the other way around. I was invited to a youth group by Erin Kelley as an activity after field hockey practice. I went a few more times and through that found out about coming of age. And even though I was new to UCM, new is actually an understatement, I had been in the building maybe twice, I barely knew anyone, I was immediately accepted and welcomed. Coming of age was a really amazing introduction to the church. It sort of served as a Unitarian boot camp, where over the course of that program, I learned what the beliefs were, what the traditions were, and who started it. Coming of age requires you to go to at least 3 services, and being 13, I obviously needed a chaperone. That's where my family became involved. My sister Anna did coming of age and OWL. We attend the services every week to this day. And when we were out of town, we go to a church that's there. Once we were in New York City, and we went to a church that was in a basement. And even though it was in New York City, the congregation was very small. Everyone was so kind to us, and even though they didn't know us and we were from out of town, they were welcoming and they joked with us. It was different from services here, but still very much the same. The human connection and the warmth was the same. I've spent the last year being a student EMT and more recently a volunteer EMT with Waterbury EMS, as well as giving the COVID vaccine. Starting in October, I will be attending the New England Institute of Technology in Providence, Rhode Island, to get my associate's degree in paramedic technology. All of this, I believe, reflects the values of our covenant, specifically the lines, treat each other with compassion and support each other in times of need and times of grief. And even though being an EMT isn't as exciting as it seems on TV, specifically that show with Rob Lowe, where they give this lady a blood transfusion directly from her friend while she's still in her crashed car. But even on boring calls, I'm still helping somebody. And as annoying as it is to have to wake up at 2 a.m. because somebody stubbed their toe, we're still providing a service for someone. Being part of the church has been really great, and I plan to be involved with the church in Rhode Island as much as possible. I really appreciate everything the church has done for me and my family. Thank you.
When I tell people I go to church every Sunday, they give me a strange look and say, "Really? You go to church?" "Yes," I reply. "I go to a church where on Easter Sunday, you can wear a bike helmet as an Easter bonnet and draw flowers and chalk on the steps for religious education. I go to a church where kindness and compassion are honored. Ever since coming here, when I was just 5 years old, I have felt loved. Being able to walk into this building every Sunday and be greeted by smiling faces and friendly hellos has been a crucial part of my childhood. One of my earliest memories is sitting on the green rug in the children's chapel and singing the 7 Principles song with Sally Armstrong. I remember each principle had a color. Red for each person is important, orange for be kind in all you do, and blue for each person needs a voice and vote. I still remember this song and could probably recite it to you right now. It reminded me to lead with kindness and equality in every interaction I have. I also cherish Sundays when we would sneak down to the front steps and draw flowers on the sidewalk to surprise the rest of the congregation. The surprised looks on our parents' faces were definitely exaggerated, but it made me feel all the more special for bringing joy to our community. I will admit, I wasn't always overjoyed to come to church, but I consistently left with a smile on my face and a feeling that I had a whole community looking out for me. Growing up through this church has given me the opportunity to participate in almost every program available. When starting the coming of age program, I was very wary. How was I supposed to know what I believed in as a 7th grader when I couldn't even pick out my outfit in the morning? Luckily, with the help of my mentors, I was able to make a belief system that I somewhat still stick to. I remember standing in the sanctuary saying, "If you believe in anything, you can change the world." Now, this seems naive and not very accurate, but I'm grateful for this experience to think about my values at such a young age. The reflection from this experience gave me the ability to reflect all throughout high school and think critically about my values. In the past few years, this church has been an anchor for me. Working in the nursery, youth group, and volunteering at the community lunch have taught me the importance of togetherness. I'm surprised each day by the generosity of everyone here and the utter selflessness that members of this community practice. I honestly would not be the person I am today without this congregation. The simple words, "Each person is important, be kind in all you do," were just as influential when I was 5 than as they are now. While the 7 principles may not be in the forefront of my mind walking through the grocery store or at school, they will always be present, leading me through every decision I make. As I move on to the next phase of my life, I hope to take these values with me. This fall, I will be attending the University of Vermont and majoring in environmental science. I'm thrilled for this opportunity and can't wait to keep learning and doing my part for this planet. While I might be leaving this community physically, I will always cherish memories and lessons from UCM. I now understand that there will always be a group of loving and welcoming people to support me. Thank you for influencing my childhood in such a positive way.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruby and Erin. Thank you, Oskar. Whew. You are 3 amazing members of our congregation, and I know I don't speak alone when I'm not speaking for just myself when I say it's really moving to hear what growing up in the church has meant, and you have given so much to our congregation. So thank you. And now, just as this is a big milestone for the 3 of you, it is a big milestone for your parents as well. You are each the firstborn and the first kid to be heading out in the world from your families. So we now invite Ruby's dad, Dustin Rand, to share a blessing on behalf of the parents of all the graduating seniors. And after that, we will have Becky Weber share on behalf of the congregation.
Thank you, Liza. So here are some words from the parents of the Bridgers. We wish for you the time and space to discover your interests and try new things. We wish for you to greet the world with joy, enthusiasm, and wonder. We hope you discover even more deeply what and who you love. We wish for you to become whatever you want to be. We wish for you to combine your passions and erudition to be productive and happy. We wish for you clarity of purpose. We wish for you a pathway to making a difference in the world. Continue to use your voice for good. We wish for you a life full of joy, joyful noise, and laughter among new and old friends. We wish for you moments of stillness so you can hear your own inner wisdom. We wish for you freedom from suffering and want. We wish for you the bravery to jump in with both feet. And finally, we wish for you a sandwich or whatever else you may need to take care of yourself in any given moment.
So I'm speaking for the congregation, immense power. When Liza asked me to speak today, I was really honored, but then I was hit with a little bit of grief. Erin, Oskar, and Ruby, missing the last year of seeing you become the amazing adults you are today in person has been a loss for me and for the whole community. Having to say goodbye now seems unfair, even if it's only goodbye for now. Even so, I'm inspired when I look back at the youth you were and now at the adults you've become through your own efforts, the support of your family, and this beloved community. In the years I've known you, I've watched all three of you face challenges with courage and integrity, both the extraordinary disruption of COVID and the ordinary human, but no less daunting task of discovering who you are and growing into yourselves. Ruby, you were my mainstay in the nursery over the past few years. You were consistently wonderful with the little ones, kind and patient with your peers, and you're all around one of the most responsible, grounded teens I've known. Oskar, it's been thrilling to watch you find your path over the past few years, persevering when things were tough, living your values, and being a role model for other youth while becoming a kick-ass EMT. Thank goodness for you used, because there's really no more polite way to say that. Erin, I wrote you a recommendation a couple years ago, and I had to turn to my thesaurus when I found I'd used the word enthusiastic multiple times in every paragraph. Truly, that's who you are. Whatever you choose to do, you do it wholeheartedly. And to my eternal gratitude, when the nerve-wracking silence of a dozen 13-year-olds being forced to talk about you know what in our whole lives sexuality class became too much to bear, you would always cheerfully and fearlessly break that silence. None of you are afraid to be who you are with all your hearts. You don't let anyone's opinion stop you from pursuing your goals or doing what you think is right. Whether you're joining the city tree board, making applesauce for the community lunch, or working for social justice in the environment, you're all just extraordinary. Oskar, Ruby, and Erin, I know I speak for the congregation when I say we can't wait to hear the reports back from your new, broader horizons. We know you'll do awesome things. We hope you'll set forth on the next phase of your lives with faith and optimism, sure deep in your hearts that this community will always be here with open arms, ready to welcome you back, to support you in times of frustration and sorrow that are part of every human experience, and to celebrate your joys, the new places, new people, and endless opportunities to learn and grow that we are sure await you. I love you guys.
If we were in person, the youth would walk across the chancel at the front of the sanctuary with all of us watching. This would mark the symbolic crossing into adulthood. But not to be discouraged that we can't all be together, these three had the idea that this year it would be special to cross an actual bridge. So we gathered a few days ago, about a mile upriver from the church, but on the same north branch of the Winooski River that the church is on. Reverend Joan helped film, and over 24 of you submitted beforehand hand tracings that we lined the bridge with as a surprise for them, so that the love and energy of this congregation that has surrounded them throughout their childhood and youthhood could be with them during the ritual. A huge flock of Canada geese flew overhead as John and Janet Cohen and I were setting up, and it felt like a carrying on of the idea of these three being goslings learning to fly. In a moment, we'll share a video of the bridge, and you'll see that they are given a candle from each of their parents, which symbolizes the light that they carry with them in the world. On the far side, we gave them a ceramic chalice or cup, depending on their preference. Both of these were made by local potter Amy Lloyd, who is a past member of the UCM choir. Erin, Ruby, Oskar, we hope that these gifts from the congregation to you will be a reminder of all the sacred and fun times that you had at church, including the lighting of the chalices or having your spiritual cup filled many times. Here is our recording of the bridge part of bridging.
Isn't this great that it's outside?
Thank you. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Let us now engage in the sacred act of offering our blessing. If your camera is off, we invite you to turn it on. Please rise in body or spirit if you wish. Rub your hands together to create some energy. And then extend your hands toward our bridges on your screen or in the direction of Montpelier. Through your hands, send your positive energy and love and your caring to them. Let us take a moment to hold Oskar and Erin and Ruby in this love. Thank you. Oskar, Erin, and Ruby, May this collective energy and love support you in your journey into adulthood. And now, our musical interlude, a gift from Erin Kelley with Eliza Thomas on piano. It's a song entitled Homeward Bound, composed by Marta.
In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, when the summer ceased its gleaming, when the corn is past its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I'll be homeward bound in time. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you someday. If you find it's me you're missing, if you're hoping I'll return to your thoughts, I'll soon be listening. In the road I'll stop and turn, then the wind will set me racing. As my journey nears its end, and the path I'll be retracing, when I'm homeward bound again. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, I'll be homeward bound
Thank you for that beautiful song, Erin and Eliza, and for our Bridgers, your families, all the joy and gratitude that I know is emanating across our devices. Let's just hold that in a moment of quiet. And I invite you into this time of meditation and prayer, a time in this service to allow all of this upwelling of emotion and love, just to feel it, just to feel that in your body and to feel joy for it. And on a Sunday like today, it's a hard one not to be together in this sanctuary. And yet I know how much we're sharing with one another across distance, bound in community with one another. And for that, let us give thanks. In this time of meditation and prayer, we also lift up the joys and concerns that are present in our community of all kinds. If you have any joys and concerns that you'd like to share in the chat, you're welcome to do that. A reminder that we do have a lay pastoral caregiver this morning, and that is Ruth Whitty. Ruth is available by phone after today's service, and I believe Ruth will be sharing her phone number in the chat with anyone who might want to give her a call. I have two pastoral concerns to lift up from our broader church community that were sent in advance of this service. And first from Kenrick Kite. Kenrick lights a candle in sorrow and with gratitude for the life and rich musical legacy of David Kaner. And Kristen Glauser shares this joy. She says, Ben and I are happy that our son Lucas, wife Lauren, and daughters Clara and Stella are moving to Montpelier in September. They will be staying at our house for a few months while they are waiting for their house to be ready. Ben and I are exploring options of where we will live during this time. Ideas would be welcome. Now I invite you into a time of prayer, moving meditation. I'll read these words aloud to you, and then I will say them again, demonstrating some suggested movements, and then we'll do the body prayer together in silence 3 times, just the motions. And if you're joining by phone, I hope I can describe it well enough that you can also, without necessarily seeing what I'm doing, join in from where you are. So today we're celebrating resilience, and I offer you these words in that spirit. When times are hard, I dig deep to find my strength and resolve. When times are hard, I reach wide, knowing that I am not alone. When times are hard, I remain embraced by a love bigger than me. And so here are the motions that go with this. So first, when times are hard, you can kind of cross your arms over your chest. When times are hard, I dig deep. You can kind of scoop up your hands like you're digging deep to find my strength and resolve. When times are hard, I reach wide. Extend your arms wide. I reach wide, knowing that I am not alone. You can bring your arms back in. And when times are hard, I remain. So you can kind of bring your hands down to the ground. I remain embraced by a love. So you can kind of embrace yourself, embraced by a love bigger than me. Let me show you the motions again, and then I invite you to join me. When times are hard, I dig deep to find my strength and resolve. When times are hard, I reach wide, knowing I am not alone. When times are hard, I remain embraced by a love bigger than me. So 3 times together in silence. Thank you. And let us now join in singing Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Kelly and Eliza. It is so great to see you here in the sanctuary live, Kelly, making great music with Eliza. I have a brief time of reflection, and to start it, I have a wonder box. I'll give you some hints. It's pretty heavy, so if you were going to say a feather, that's not it, but we will be using a feather in a moment if you have one nearby. So let's see. Heard aloud. Aha, it is the name tags, the wooden name tags that we used for any of our outdoor church events for families this fall. Let's see, we have a first name on it. This is Elena's. And there's some memory beads for the different activities that she came to. Red was for fire making, and orange was for pumpkin carving. We'll have to get caught up with this spring's activities. But when we put these name tags on, everyone notices the rings, right? They're called growth rings. And you can see the years where there's a lot of space between them. The tree or the branch grew a lot that year, and other years not so much. This pandemic year has asked us all to grow our hearts, to dig deep, to show our love. All of us have had to grow our patience. I think that we can say, whatever our life stage, that we grew stronger and more resilient this year and learned a lot. Recently, families have been sharing what they've learned this year. And if any of these sound true for you, do the ASL sign for me too. I'll share just a few of them. I've learned the beauty of not rushing around to be someplace all the time. I'm liking deeper time with fewer people. Realizing there are lots of people willing to help if I just reach out and ask. Don't sweat the small stuff and get outside. Well, we did get outside. This year we took Lifespan Spiritual Exploration outdoors, as you'll see in the slideshow in a few minutes. I'll highlight a few milestones of the program, including nearly 40 adults participating in the Beloved Conversations program on race. We had 30 parents, grandparents, educators tune in to learn how to talk about race with kids and practice that. One mother-son duo even started their own two-person book club once a week, maybe with dessert, to learn how to be anti-racists together. We had over 100 adults participating in some type of recurring small group grounded in deep listening. We had the first program in many years on end-of-life challenges and an online retreat focused on grief and loss. We even had a couple UU history sessions that were rather lively. And nearly every Sunday we had a children's chapel with singing and games and lots of smiles. With the LSE committee and Caring Network volunteers, we got about 60 care packages out to families at the start of each season, so they knew that we loved them. These care packages had little reminders of our core values, like these bookmarks with our 7 principles on them. Now I'm going to pause for a moment in my reflection to invite a special guest to help share a song with us. Sally Armstrong was mentioned in both Erin and Ruby's reflection for the song about the 7 principles. So I think we need Sally for when we don't have our bookmark with us. Sally, would you sing this song that has stayed with Erin and Ruby and might help us all too?
I would be delighted. Each person is important. Be kind in all you do. We're free to learn together and search for what is true. Each person needs a voice and vote. Build a fair and peaceful world and know we're all together in the Earth's lifeboat.
Bravo, thank you so much, Sally. That's a great reminder of our core values. And as Unitarian Universalists, those are our core values, and I think what has helped get us through this year. I want to close with my biggest lesson from the year, which came from Melody Walker-Brooke, who was a guest teacher in the Children's Chapel. This fall, she joined us one Sunday morning. If you have a feather nearby, now's the time to use it. Melody is a member of the Elnu Band of the Abnaki. And if any of you children are listening, I bet you remember what she taught us. You see if I explain it correctly. This center part of the feather is the part that holds it together, like our core values hold us together. These are also your family, or your church, or your circle of dear friends. It's also what you love and believe. But sometimes we start to come a bit apart. Maybe one thing after another goes wrong in a day, or you get in an argument with someone that you love, or maybe you're just super hungry and your feather starts to look like this. But then Melody said, you circle back to your family or your church family. You take care of yourself and you get some rest. Maybe you have that sandwich that the parents were wishing for the Bridgers. Maybe you sing a song as a spiritual practice, your favorite hymn, or you do sit spot. Or maybe you feel good by helping someone else, delivering some care packages or helping with the community lunch. We each have our ways of bringing ourselves back together. I invite you to think about what you have learned in this hard year of how to bring yourself back together. What has been the growth in your spiritual journey? Take a moment. Whatever that lesson or lessons are, hold on to that in your heart. You've earned it. It is a gift that we want you to keep with you. And I know all our feathers are still a little or a lot frayed, but every day we are coming together more and more. Soon we will be ready to fly and flock together, practicing with some outdoor events over the summer for families and LSE volunteers, present and past volunteers, since I know many of you have really missed interacting with the families and other volunteers this year. We are still envisioning what the fall will look like, but just like the goslings learning to fly, we'll need practice and we'll start out slow. I want to thank each and every volunteer who helped in some form, small or large, this year. You are what kept our program alive. Everyone from the kids who helped with the photo Easter egg hunt, the grown-ups leading children's chapel or youth group, the leaders of our many, many small groups. Thank you for keeping us connected, for helping our feathers come back together. We have the names of our volunteers being pasted in the chat. And for facilitators and committee members, I have a gift of a wooden spoon with a chalice burned in it as a sign of our thanks for stirring our ideas and our hearts and our spiritual growth this year. Thank you. Thank you so much from all of us. And we'll definitely be seeking more volunteers as we navigate our re-entry. So when your feather is feeling together enough, let's talk and find out where your gifts might be a good match to help us fly together again as a strong flock of individuals who know we are more resilient together in this Unitarian Universalist faith community. Our closing hymn is next. It is a special request by the Bridgers, Blue Boat Home. This version was made a year ago with artwork by Ruby when we created it for Earth Day worship a year ago.
Standing on these mountains and
Kids' Choice for the Community Pouch recipient of June. In April, we exercised the 5th principle of voting, and the kids voted for the Vermont River Conservancy, and they are especially excited about the Confluence River Park project. Here's a little bit more information about that.
Hello, Unitarian Church of Montpelier. I'm Ricarda Erickson, the Deputy Director of the Vermont River Conservancy, and I'm coming to you on this little box on my shared screen today to talk to you about the Vermont River Conservancy and a project that I'm very grateful that you are supporting. The Vermont River Conservancy protects land along our rivers throughout Vermont for public access to ensure that people have places along our rivers to enjoy the flowing water. The Confluence River Park is a prime example of a public access project that we are working on. We want to make sure that people in Montpelier and visitors to Montpelier get to enjoy these incredible rivers that flow right through the heart of our downtown. Right here, we're looking at the main stem of the Winooski River meeting up with a north branch, right, the river that your church is on, right downstream at the confluence. And right here in this grassy area is the future home of the Confluence River Park. And this is going to be a very important park for Montpelier. You'll be able to see it from the main road coming in through town, and you'll be able to see people picnicking there, casting a fishing line, launching a kayak, swimming, enjoying everything that these rivers have to offer. And we want to make sure that people know what's coming, what's going to be the Confluence Park in the fall of 2022. And so we want to put a sign up there at the end of this summer to show people the conceptual design that I'll click to right now of what the park is going to be. And this will be an opportunity for people to engage with this vision, to provide feedback, and to understand the breadth of what this park can mean for our community. So I thank you very much for supporting the sign that will be at the Confluence River Park, and I hope that you will come enjoy it when we have it installed. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you to Ricarda for preparing that testimonial on behalf of the Vermont River Conservancy. Our generosity is a form of love and gratitude. Our gifts freely given help us to practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation. During the month of June, for which we have just 2 services, as you just heard, our community pouch recipient is the Vermont River Conservancy. Your contribution to the community pouch this month will directly support the work for that Confluence Park. You can make a financial contribution today by donating online. Go to ucmvt.org and click Donate to UCM. There are options to contribute to the general fund, which supports the general operating budget of the church, the community pouch, or both. You can also mail a check to the church, or you can use our text to give option. Simply send a text message with the word give to 802-266-4848 and follow the instructions that are sent to you. We are so grateful to each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms. And as we draw our service to a close, we extinguish the chalice and carry within each of us its healing flame, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the days and weeks ahead. And as a special request from our Bridgers, we have this morning Paula Gills to lead us in the singing of our mission statement.
We welcome all as we live a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need and protect
And in way of announcements, today, right after service, we will have a special congregational meeting. It'll begin minutes after the postlude, so hang around for that. All are welcome, but members will be able to vote during that special congregational meeting. Next Sunday will be our flower communion. And this week, you'll have the opportunity to visit the sanctuary on June 8th, 10th, or the 12th. So please check the e-news for other ways to participate, but make sure don't just come, but there's some sign up that you can do so that you can reserve your time in the sanctuary. So visit the e-news for that information as well. This Friday, between 12:30 and 1:30, Reverend Joan will be hosting lunch outside on the benches, weather permitting. So if come and visit with Reverend Joan and have lunch with her, 12:30 on this Friday, weather permitting. And also, as my internship comes to a close for the first year, I will be offering pastoral care this summer. I'll be on call between 12 to 5, Monday through Friday throughout the summer. More details are in the e-news, and it will be in the summer newsletter. And to sign up for weekly e-news, visit the church's website under Connect. Now back to Reverend Joan for our words of benediction.
Hello. On behalf of the committee and all of the congregation, I just want to share a few words. This year of the COVID-19 pandemic meant so many things had to be reimagined and innovated at UCM. Starting over a year ago, our fearless director of lifespan spiritual exploration, Liza Earl Centers, began to do just that, ending our last church year with summer care packages for more than 60 families, a practice which continued several times in the current church year. This year, she took her experience as an outdoor educator and brought it to UCM, offering socially distanced gatherings with games and lessons for our youth and families. The same went for outdoor service projects, which have been another silver lining during the COVID-19 pandemic as a way for youth and adults to be together, living our UU values. Children's Chapel before worship service each Sunday has been a mainstay for many kids and families, as well as coffee hours for older students. Online workshops and check-in groups have kept adults engaged as well. And creative videos of our UU history have engaged all ages, as well as congregations beyond UCM. The list just goes on and on. And we know that reinventing and creating something from scratch has been exhausting. We're grateful for all the energy you put into keeping our lifespan spiritual exploration program vibrantly active, with so many of us engaged with the fruits of your labor, Liza. We know how lucky we are to have you. As a small token of our appreciation, we offer you these flowers and gift and in line with this month's worship theme, play, we offer you a gift certificate to the toy store or play spot of your choice. It's our greatest hope that you'll have some well-earned playtime this summer and be able to recharge. Thank you, Liza. We love you so much.
Beth. Thank you, everybody.
And so now our closing words. May you go from here knowing that in your learning and growing, in your becoming, you are enough and you are not alone. Go in peace and return again in love.
Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted pony goes the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like when you're older must appease her, and promises of someday make her dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell her, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet too slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years spin by, and now the girl is 20. Though their dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle